What's this extra time bollocks about? Where's the away goal rule gone?
Sometimes you're a fire, sometimes you're a ghost. Sometimes you can give me all the things that I love the most. Sometimes you're a queen, sometimes you're a curse, and sometimes a whole lot worse. Yeah, nobody's quite like you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Blue Hell Worldwide here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well, and today in episode number 23 here at Sporting Kansas City, we are taking on Beijing Guoan, a team which we took to the AFC Champions League in our Hexagon challenge earlier this football manager. We are taking these guys on in the Europa League round of 64 over 2 legs. So if you're looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and enjoy what you see here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we are still in the middle of a transfer window as well here in the middle of January in our second season here at SKC. We've also got some transfer news to bring you guys in today's episode as well. But first things first, we'll show you guys what Beijing Guoan do look like in the save. They are in the Serie A division, so on the same tier as us, and you can see they're struggling just a little bit more than we are. So hopefully this is a team who we can get a decent result against today and go one step further than we did last season in the Europa League, down in 17th, albeit that's quite a tight table down the bottom, and if they get some decent points in their next few games, they could climb above Trabzonspor. But based on league positions, this is definitely a very winnable tie for us in this Europa League. But before then, we have played a few games since the end of yesterday's episode, where we took on Fluminense and Getafe in a couple of cup competitions. If you missed that, I will leave a link to it above my head, but we'll catch you guys up on the highlights of those games that we have played. First off, we had a league game against Racing Club, a team who were in and around the same position that we were in the top half of the Brasileiro Serie A table. We were awarded a penalty in the 20th minute, which Johnny F. and Russell stepped up to take with Polito out of action, and as you can see, he's about to step up to take it and blast it wide of the net, sending the keeper the wrong way, but it still remained 0-0. But then at the 58-minute mark, as the second half got underway, we finally got in front. Olasunde making his way down the right, picks out Felix Mecha, the goalkeeper, coming out for that, but not quite getting to it, and we did go 1-0 up, but unfortunately, with 20 minutes to go, it was Racing Club who got on the attack. Casillas there, putting a ball in, and Alcaraz puts that in the back of the net with a good header, and it finishes 1-1. That missed penalty by Johnny Russell in the first half, potentially costing us a few points there. It was a game where we did slightly edge things stat-wise, so feels a little bit frustrating not to have picked up the win in that game, but we will take a point against a decent Racing Club team. And off the back of that, still in the league, we had a tough ask travelling to Brazil to take on second place Flamengo, a team who with Gabriel Barbosa just got the better of us earlier this season at home, and they got off to a good start in this game as well. In the 9th minute, it was Balsanian putting a ball forward. It falls to Bruno Henrique, who just jogs for our defence on the right-hand side there and puts them 1-0 up. But then about halfway through the first half, we did equalise. Johnny Russell, a ball over for Jala. He finds Busio, wonderful ball for Mecha. He makes some really nice runs from that left wing position and gets another goal to add to his tally. It was 1-1 at half-time, but 10 minutes into the second half, Flamengo with the crucial strike, Pedro, from a very tight angle to Melia, sort of coming out for that, not really having much impact, unfortunately, with the position he ended up in. And we end up going down 2-1 to Flamengo, a game that we were right in, to be fair, getting a lot of shots on target, but nothing overly threatening apart from the Mecha one, and Flamengo with their 2 shots on target down the back of the net. So a pretty frustrating result, albeit that does bode well, playing that well against a team who find themselves second on the league table. So some so-so results for us there in the league since yesterday's episode, and what that means is we have slipped down the table ever so slightly to 7th, albeit still in a pretty good position, not too far behind Santos in 4th, only 2 points behind those guys, but still not that far out of the relegation zone either, with only 6 points separating us and the likes of Monterrey and Club America. So still a very condensed table in behind the top 3 clubs, and at the moment, in fact, it's Flamengo who went top with that win over us, albeit Palmeiras do have a game in hand. But transfer-wise, we have had a few player sales since the end of yesterday's episode, one of which we did foreshadow pretty heavily at the end of the episode. Graham Smith did leave for Fleetwood for 600,000, could rise up a little bit beyond that, but He's a player who just decreased ability-wise, star rating-wise, coming into this season at 26 years old. Wasn't really in the first team picture with us having some good young centre-backs coming through like Diego Coronado and a few more like that who we have picked up in the meantime. So Graham Smith now at Fleetwood. And the other player who has left us was a player who started off this season as our backup goalkeeper, ended up dropping down once we brought Remy Deschamps into the first rotation, and that was Remy Prieur. He has left for Atlanta United. Valued at 96,000, they put a bid in for him for 145,000. He isn't an overly good goalkeeper, truth be told, so we decided we'd let him go. 1.5 star current ability, 3-star potential, and I think that was lower than that when he was at the club as well. So he has left us for a little bit of coin there. But we are looking at moving on a few more players. Roger Espinoza did have a bid come in for him, but unfortunately he turned down the contract. We're still trying to get rid of him as he did want to be transfer listed by us. So we're going to try and get rid of him before the end of the window. But at the moment he isn't playing ball. And the club vice captain has also joined him in wanting to leave the club as well, and that is Alexander Tete. Wasn't happy with the amount of first team football he was getting here at SKC this season with Jala and Sanchez ahead of him. So we've also decided that we'll try and sell him. Hopefully he accepts the contract that's been offered to him. He is currently underbid from the Kashima Antlers of 550,000, valued at 475. So hopefully he accepts that contract. But Alexander Tete, another player who should be hopefully leaving us in this transfer window. And unfortunately, in yesterday's episode, we did put a bid in for Alvaro Fernandez, a Manchester United left back, to try and come in on loan, but he chose a different team over us in this third tier of this World Super League, which was a little bit frustrating. So we're just going to have to stick with the left backs we've got here while Iyongo is on AFCON duty. And this is the player who is going to be stepping up in the rotation team and getting a start today. That is Aidan Stanley. Had a few games last season from memory, but this is what he looks like. He will be playing wing-back support, so we'll get those stats highlighted. There's a little bit of potential, not the most promising player at the club by any means, but is a decent option to have there as an emergency backup when we need him in the first team. As you can see, he's got some very good passing and natural fitness, and hopefully he can do a decent job for us against Beijing Guoan over the 2 legs in today's episode. But we will come back shortly for the first leg of this Europa League round of 64 knockout tie. As I said earlier, hopefully we can go one step further with a more favourable draw, I feel like, this year as we take on Beijing Guoan away. And we do have TV coverage for this game. There is the Beijing Guoan lineup playing a 4-2-3-1. They've got some decent players there like Nicholas Gaitan. For us, unfortunately, Doyle Hayes is suspended in the midfield, so we're going to try Gadi Kinder as a box-to-box midfielder. He is listed as being able to play in that position. Hasn't been as good as I was hoping for on the wing, so we're going to try him there. Otherwise, it's more or less the team that you would usually have, of course, with Stanley being in there for Martins, as he has gone into the first 11 with Iyongo away, and it is Beijing Guoan in the green and yellow, as we are familiar with from our Hexagon challenge. And they're on the attack early here through Gruber, but his shot is straight at Deschamps, and after 7 minutes, it does still remain 0. 23 minutes gone here, and we do have a goal kick so far. Just that one highlight where Beijing Guoan had an okay chance, nothing too spectacular, but we look to get on the attack ourselves now. Shalloy to Wilson Harris just outside the box. Hopefully he can keep the form that he found towards the end of yesterday's episode going, as that was the reason we didn't bring a striker in on loan to cover him. Anthony Reyes did pick up a slight injury since yesterday's episode with blisters to his feet, as that's a really good chance there for Beijing Guoan. A wonderful save for Remy Deschamps, so good to see him producing a big save for us there and coming out to claim that corner. But Anthony Reyes does have blisters, can play through it, but that doesn't affect us too much today, as Wilson Harris would have been starting these games anyway. But after 26 minutes, still it remains 0-0, but Beijing Guoan starting things out strongly. 35 minutes gone, and Beijing Guoan with a throw-in in a dangerous area of the pitch for us anyway, but they do keep possession after we try and put a bit of pressure on them, and Alex Silva will make his way down the right, and hopefully we can get the better of these guys, as I would like to go one step further than last season with a team which I feel is a bit stronger, as Gaitan just tiptoes his way down the left there. We do get the ball back, and Luke Bolton is going to charge down the right on a yellow card already, but we'll see what happens here as he makes his way down. That's a slide tackle from Gigi. It is blocked, but Bolton back in for Harrison. He'll put that in the back of the net, but it hasn't come up immediately. Has the goal graphic, so maybe it was Bolton who was offside when that ball got played back out to him, because that did look fairly safe from Wilson Harris when he put the ball in the back of the net, and indeed it has been called back for offside, and it is Luke Bolton. If we get shown the replay, we'll show you exactly what it is, and we won't. So still 0 as we get closer to halftime. 43 minutes gone. It's a throw-in for Beijing Guoan. Good area of the pitch for them this time. Gomez back for Jones, and they're just doing some short passing here. So we try and get a foot in, but they are blocking the ball, or shielding it, I should say, quite nicely. Gigi puts the ball over the top. It's flicked on there by Perez, I believe, but Deschamps is able to claim that nicely. He's had a good first half so far, which is good to be able to say, as so far this season our goalkeepers have been pretty hot or cold, but at the moment both of them do seem to be in decent form. As Remy Walter Bolton out to Lindsay. He makes his way forward down the right. What can he do here? Tries to put a ball in for Harris. It's cleared away from Manje, but we get it back up to him. Now plays the ball over for Shalloy. A little bit of a tight angle there, but he will settle things down. And then Wilson Harris. This time the goal will count. No offsides this time around. And we go 1-0 up just before halftime. And that's a good goal for us, being an away one as well. We were building up just a little bit nicely since the second part of this first half. Beijing Guoan definitely starting things off stronger, but we've been working our way into this half nicely. Shallow with the ball, puts it straight into the path for Harris. A good finish with his left foot into the top right corner, and we should be going into halftime 1-0 up, and indeed that is the case. So pretty happy with how things are going, and we won't make any changes at halftime either. As I said, we started to build into that half quite nicely as it wore on. Pretty even game, but we'll take that advantage that we will have as we start the second half, especially with it being an away goal, and we're in a good position 1-0 up as we start the second half. Early highlight in the second half, and it's a free kick to Beijing Guoan. Vandenberg heads that away, and Wilson Harris will get on the ball, starts to run forward out to Shallow. He does some good short passing. Bolton passes, man, great chance, but that's a good save there from Fazzato, I believe that was in goal for Beijing Guoan. They keep it at 1-0, but we are starting to really work into this game nicely. Vandenberg from the corner, just over the bar, and it does remain 1-0 after 50 minutes, although now it's a throw-in for Beijing Guoan. Good slide tackle there from Gutty Kinder, who's playing okay in that box-to-box midfield role, just trying to see what position will suit him best, as I just don't feel he's quite fulfilled what he could do in this team so far. He's definitely a player with good ability, but Beijing Guoan on the attack, good foot in there from Jalen Lindsay, and that's a pretty interesting challenge from Gigi. It wasn't too dangerous, but he is already on a yellow card, and we are going to go a man up for the remaining 40 minutes of this game. So this is looking really good for us now, as unfortunately Aidan Stanley has picked up a niggle. So we'll just might have to manage that for the rest of this game. But Beijing Guoan down to 10 men, and we are 1-0 up in the away league. Okay, 64 minutes gone, and we are going to change both wing backs for varied reasons. Stanley hasn't quite recovered from that little niggle, and the fact that we are a little bit light at left back at the moment is a good reason just to bring Martins on for him, and also Jalen Lindsay not playing too well, so Matt Olasunde can come on for him. I actually feel that rating for Lindsay is a little bit harsh, because he did have an impact on the first goal and the offside goal that was ruled out as well, but only on a 6.3, so we'll see what the better quality of Matt Olasunde can do there, but still in a very good position, a man up and a goal up with 25 minutes to go of the away league. 69 minutes gone, and it is a goal kick here for Beijing Guoan, but they kick that straight to Shallow, although that's not a very good header there from the Hungarian, as the winger doesn't realise that there's absolutely no one for us ahead of him, and we do give the ball back to Beijing Guoan, but we should be able to win this game, hopefully, with the man advantage and being a goal up, although it's a good ball out for Alex Silva right on the edge of the box. Fizzes one in for Nico Gaitan, and just as I say we should be winning this game, they have scored a goal with 10 men. That's a bit of a hard one to take, albeit I suppose we'd rather they score one in this league than the away league, but that's a bit of a hard one to take with the man advantage. Alex Silva just able to get a ball off here, and Nicholas Gaitan given a lot of space there. It's a bit sloppy at the back from us. Puts that into the bottom right corner, and it's all square with 20 minutes to go in the first league at 1-1. 75 minutes gone. We have a corner. Martins to put it in. We hit it. It hits the post. That was a great chance there. Unfortunately, though, still 1-1. And we are into injury time. We did bring Wintle on for Walter late, but that had no impact. And unfortunately, despite looking significantly the better team, no doubt the red card early in the second half to Gigi for 2 yellows did help us there, but they did pick a goal back shortly after that, and that cancelled out Wilson Harris's late first half strike. So that's a bit of a frustrating result. Hopefully that doesn't cost us too much in the home league, but we do get an away goal out of that, and I suppose that's slightly better than the home goal for Beijing Guoan. So we go into the second league all square, but the away goal does give us a slight advantage, and we'll come back shortly with highlights from our league game in between the two games in today's episode against Atletico Paranaense. And we are back before the second leg of the tie against Beijing Guoan in the round of 64 in the Europa League. But before then, our first 11 did have a league game against Atletico Paranaense, a team who we have had the wood over slightly so far this season, beating them in both the league and the Champions League loser path qualifiers very early on in the season. And we got off to a decent start here. 20 minutes gone, Busio just holding the ball outside the box, puts the ball over for Jala, back to Busio, Mecha, and he just fires it off into the bottom left corner, keeps up his good form since stepping into the first 11 to make it 1-0. And only a few minutes later, it was Jala from a Martins corner to make it 2-0. And then just before half-time, about 7 minutes before it, it's a bit of a mess at the back there from Atletico Paranaense. Johnny F. and Russell getting on the end of a corner, which you don't expect to say, to make it 3-0. And then with 7 minutes to go, a nice ball over there to Reyes, and he puts that away. Russell getting an assist to go with his goal, and Anthony Reyes keeping up his form since Pulido went out injured in a very comprehensive 4-0 win for us there in the league, which is a nice little boost after those results we had at the start of today's episode against Racing Club and Flamengo. So what that means for the Serie A table is that we have shot back up at somewhat, back into fourth with that good goal difference advantage over the teams who are below us at the moment, but still only 9 points clear of the relegation zone. But we're starting to extend that gap there ever so slightly, so starting to look just a little bit safer, albeit we are only just over halfway through the season, so need to keep up some decent form if we're going to avoid that relegation battle that we were expected to be a part of. But as we suggested earlier in the episode, our former captain from last season, and he actually still was club captain until he left that role, has now been taken over by Sajai Jala, but Roger Espinoza has left, going to the Yokohama F. Marinos. We sold him for €69,000, so that's a very nice amount times 1,000, but he has gone to them. As I said, just a player who, ability-wise, isn't really good enough for the second tier of the World Super League, truth be told. So he has left us. Unfortunately, none of the other players who we were trying to sell have left us so far. If we go to our actual transfer centre, Alexander Tete did reject a contract, which was a little bit frustrating, so we've tried to shop him out. Again, we'll see if he accepts any of those offers that have come in for him now. If we make our way down, I'm pretty sure we accepted one for 500k from Spartak Trnava, and hopefully he'll accept that one. We also tried to get rid of Kerry Shelton just because he's not really going to get any first-team football here. We thought we'd try and get rid of him. Unfortunately, he turned down a contract from Fortuna Sittard for 675,000 as well. So players not really wanting to drop down divisions at the moment, which I suppose you can't blame them for, but it is going to cost us a little bit of money as we do try and get rid of these players who, with the good young talent we have coming through at the club, and potentially some more of that coming through in our next youth intake as well, we are trying to get rid of some of the older players who aren't quite up to standard here at Sporting Kansas City. But Bolton is suspended for this game coming up, the second leg against Beijing Guoan, as is Sepp Vandenberg. Now, I was trying to bring in Diego Coronado for a first-team start at centre-back for this game, but I left it a little bit late, and he got a game in for the under-18, so unfortunately is too tired to play in this game. But instead of him, we are going to use Felix Meyer, so another Felix in the first team. He is apparently more of a left-back. I actually think he's definitely more of a ball-playing defender come libero, and we are training him in that position. As you can see, decent heading. He's got good determination, although that is going down, which is concerning. Decent tackler, so we'll see what he can do in this upcoming game. The 19-year-old German with very good potential ability, so he'll get a start at the back with no Vandenberg, and trying to give the first 11 players a rest throughout this Europa League. And in terms of the right wing, as Bolton is out, and we don't want to use Russell because he's tired, and Kerry Shelton's just not really up to it these days, as we discovered last season with his poor XG. One of the players who has really risen through the ranks since coming through last year's youth intake is Emmanuel Thompson, now up to a 2.5-star rating. So with that 5-star potential, we're going to give him a run in the first team, a player with good flair and some pretty decent stats to accompany that in that inverted winger role. He's going to get a crack with no Luke Bolton in this upcoming game. So two new players to get familiar with for today's game, and hopefully we can at least hold on and not concede a goal at home and go through on away goals against Beijing Guoan, because that is the advantage we have after the first leg. We'll see what happens from Children's Mercy Park, but hopefully we can get the job done here and make our way through to the next round of the Europa League. And TV coverage again for this game. There's our team as we ran through before. Unfortunately, no Olasunde on the bench. He's also picked up a little niggle. So one of our young right backs coming through, Laishoj, makes the bench there for him. But otherwise, more or less the same team as the first game with those 3 changes added. And Beijing Guoan looking fairly similar. Same uniforms, and hopefully we can get an outright win here in the home league. 22 minutes gone here. Daniel Shalloy making his way down the left. That's a terrible tackle from Andreas Gruber. And for the second straight game, Beijing Guoan are down to 10 men, and even earlier than the first game this time. So surely now we're going to at least see our way through with the extra away goal, but in a good position, albeit they are dominating the stats at the moment, Beijing Guoan, but they're down to 10 men as we get closer to halftime. And that is halftime. The only thing of note happening, the red card to Gruber. At that stage, Beijing Guoan were actually looking quite good stat-wise, even though we hadn't seen any highlights since the red card. You can see our XG and our chances going up a little bit, but at the moment, we would still be going through with the away goal. So pretty happy with how things are going, and hopefully we can get a goal with the man advantage at the start of the second half, as it does remain 1-1 on aggregate. 56 minutes gone here in Beijing Guoan with the first real highlight, the header going over the bar there. Good chance for them there to pinch an away goal and go up, but at the hour mark, it does remain 0-0, and we are going to make a substitution here. Wilson Harris down to a 6.3 rating, so we'll bring Anthony Reyes off the bench, recovered from those blisters that he had in the first leg of today's episode. We'll see if he can get an outright winning goal, hopefully, for us in this last half hour, but still the advantage thanks to the away goal. 0-0 on the day, 1-1 on aggregate. Okay, quarter of an hour to go now. This game has been very quiet highlight-wise, albeit we don't mind that too much with the away goal advantage still in our favour. Eli Sanchez on a yellow heart, a yellow card, and a 6.5 rating. So we're going to take him off and bring the new club captain, Sasha Jala, on for him. Get him not easing off tackles, and hopefully the scoreline remains the same where we can get a winning goal in this last quarter of an hour. Okay, 5 minutes to go now. We've pulled our wingers back just to make sure we don't concede an away goal, so we do go through. But Emmanuel Thompson had an okay debut in the first team, but down to a red heart, Johnny F. and Russell can come on and try and see this result out for us, as with 5 minutes to go. Still, it is all square, but we've got the advantage on away goals through that first leg. 89 minutes gone here, and we do have a corner late. Hopefully we can put this in the back of the net. We don't, and Beijing Guoan might even get on the attack here through Jones. Back to Juan Clues, back to Jones, and they do look to go forward through Gaetano. Did pinch that goal late in the first leg, but a good slide tackle there from Jalen Lindsay, and hopefully we can break them down late, even though we possibly don't need to thanks to the away goal advantage. But Johnny F. and Russell drives forward. What can he do? A little bit of space, tries to fire a shot into the top left corner, but straight at the goalkeeper. But we should be making our way through to the next round of the Europa League, although what's this extra time bollocks about? Where's the away goal rule gone? Okay, so it would appear that the away goal rule doesn't actually matter in the Europa League knockouts, which is rather frustrating. I probably should have checked that before this tie got underway, but yeah, we should still be winning this even in extra time, but if it goes to penalties, I'll be a little bit filthy, especially as we have had the man advantage for most of this game. It does mean we do get an extra substitution, I suppose, but yeah, I thought we were going to be making our way through there, hence why I pulled all our wingers back, so we'll just fix that now as we begin extra time, something I wasn't expecting to say in today's episode. Go back to our normal tactic, not time waste or anything like that. So yeah, that's interesting. And hopefully we can get the job done in extra time. Okay, 95 minutes gone. We've got a few players on red hearts. We're going to take Daniel Shalloy, who's the worst rated of those off. Felix Mecha can come on for him. We'll just make sure we can't make any more substitutions, and indeed we can't. So still looking for the winning goal, even though we scored an away one in the first leg, and Beijing Guoan haven't, as we are still in extra time. 95 minutes gone, and still 1-1 on aggregate. 103 minutes gone. We've got our first highlight of extra time, and it's Beijing Guoan. If they go through here, I'm going to be livid. So I didn't check the rules for this Europa League, but we do get the ball back there thanks to a little foot in from Wilson Harris, and it foils to Doyle Hayes, and hopefully we can get a goal here just to make sure that we are going to be going through, as I feel like we deserve to. Beijing Guoan shouldn't really be in this game anyway, with the 10-man advantage that we've had for the most part of both leagues. So it's been a little bit average from us, even considering we're using the rotation. They do deal with that attack pretty comfortably in the end, but they do boot that long, and they will not get on the ball thanks to a good header there from young Felix Meyer. Now Remy Walter We'll find Felix Mecha. What can he do? Fresh off the bench, just inside the box. Puts a ball across. Johnny Russell trying to go for the top left corner, but it's high. And we will reach halftime and extra time still locked up. 110 minutes gone. The first highlight of the second half of extra time. A corner to us. Remy Walter puts this in. It's a little bit messy. Ray is nearly getting on it. Forced to Johnny Russell. We get a goal, but he might be offside here. Or someone anyway. I don't know if Russell was offside. This is going to be interesting to see. This might be one of the very rare occasions where VAR overturns a goal, but they won't. It's called back for offside, and it's Maya who was offside. So this is going to be interesting. We'll check this out, as it was the Reyes shot. He's only just offside, and geez, that's a harsh call. He wasn't really involved there, was he? But it does still remain all locked up, and now we've got a goal kick to Beijing Guoan. But Jalen Lindsay having a good game here at right back, makes his way forward, getting the ball back for us just on the edge of the box. Loses that out to Jones though, and it will be Beijing Guoan making their way forward. And as I said, if they're able to pinch this game off us, I will be very filthy for a number of reasons. That's a really good ball for Jones as well. Tries to get one-on-one with the keeper, doesn't. Deschamps pulls out a good save at his near post side, so would have been a bit frustrating if he conceded that anyway, but he's been pretty good over both legs so far, has Remy Deschamps, our backup goalkeeper. They have the corner here. Do Beijing Guoan, and that goes straight at Deschamps again, but they're starting to threaten here late on, but it is still all locked up. Into the last minute of added time in this extra time of this Europa League knockout. Now, hopefully we can do something. Remy Walter, first goal of the season, and it's about dang time. We'll be making our way through to the next round of the Europa League knockout. Surely now this game, as I said, should have really been over before now, because we got the away goal in the first league. I felt like, seems like that rule doesn't count this World Super League save, but that's a good finish off the throw-in from Walter, just given too much space in the bottom right corner. And with less than a minute to go, we finally put Beijing Guoan to bed. We should have done it a lot sooner. They had red cards in both games, but they hung in there really well, even in extra time. But finally, we broke them down in the 121st minute, and we are going to be making our way through to the next round, where we will take on the winner of the Arsenal and Celta Vigo tie. So that could be a very interesting next round tie for us, but it took a lot of work against 10 men for the most part. But for a Remy Walter late strike, we make our way through to the next round of the Europa League. Okay, so back in the inbox after that rather interesting tie against Beijing Guoan, where I thought the away goals mattered more than they did. And there you can see the second league match rules. I should have definitely checked those before this knockout stage started, as you can see, extra time played with scores are level after 90 minutes, and even still it's a penalty shootout if it's still level, so the away goals do not matter in this Europa League knockout. So we've learned our lesson there, as I was a little bit filthy at full time in that second league, truth be told, but we still got the job done thanks to a late Remy Walter strike. And what you've got to look forward to in a couple of episodes' time is a tie against Arsenal in the round of 32 Premier League oppositions. That's going to be very tough for us, the first leg away at the Emirates, but a big game for us there, especially as we're probably still going to be using the rotation team at that stage of the competition, focusing the first 11 on the league. But Arsenal will be next up in the Europa League for us, and yes, definitely pushing it uphill over the two legs there, I would imagine, but that's coming up early on in February. Before then, for tomorrow's episode, we did have our round of 64 FA Cup draw get done, and you can see there we've got even more Premier League opposition, because coming up in tomorrow's episode, straight off the back of this, we are taking on Inter Milan, another very tough test for us. They currently find themselves 12th in the Premier League, so even higher than Arsenal are, and they've got Antonio Conte managing, Romelu Lukaku still there as well, so it's going to be a very tough ask for us against Premier League opposition. A few Premier League teams we're taking on in short order coming up in this World Super League save here at Sporting Kansas City. But that will do for today's episode. As I said, just got the job done against Beijing Guoan, and we've got Arsenal coming up in the round of 32 in this Europa League, and tomorrow we'll take on Inter, and if we don't take that game to a replay, then we'll come back for that Monterrey game, taking on another team who we took to glory in our Hexagon Challenge earlier this year. But if you did enjoy today's episode, bit of a dramatic one with the interesting away goal rule there, then please remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, enjoy the series here on the channel. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until the next time I see you for that Inter Monterrey double, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Sometimes you can